period of campaigning, and that long period in itself means that many politicians with sharp tongues are going to throw many things into the public space. When the campaigns become very competitive from October, November, certain serious statements are likely to be made that would infringe or that has the possibility of creating instability within the country. And so that is where we are. It is time we look at our campaign period again, and it is also time to set up the parameters for what is acceptable, what is not acceptable, and when people cross the line, the remedies for that. So in terms of politics, that is what's happening. Definitely, definitely. So we should be prepared for maybe ending of September or third week in September going, when the temperature becomes very high, you are likely to see some infractions and some misspokens here, or some misrepresentation, misinformation, and disinformation, and many of those things politicians thrown into the public space. So we should be ready for it, and let's find a way of addressing it as quickly as possible. There's a problem in Ghana. Many of you in the media and from stakeholders, they've gotten it wrong. There's nothing like peaceful election. What you have is transparent election, where the election is fair and everybody can attest to. So in every election all over the world, when I set up the Independent Election Security and Compliance Watchers in 2008, precisely, there's nothing like peaceful election. What you see is transparent election. What make elections fair and transparent, which is so key to the observers and to the key political parties and the stakeholders. Every election is unique in the case of Ghana. So every election is governed by what we call the CI. Once the CI is confirmed and affirmed, it becomes the statutory document or the law that governs the election. The CI does three things. One, it defines the election procedure. And number two, it outlines the election processes. And number three, it makes room for remedies in terms of discrepancies and whatever it is. So here's the thing. Anytime the election procedure is circumvented and the election processes are contravened, you are going to have a problem. Anytime the election procedure is circumvented and the processes are contravened, it opens up for vulnerabilities that can be exploited. And that is where many of the issues comes in. So what you saw even in Wale Wale is just one little glimpse of circumvention and contravention of the election procedure and the processes. And it comes out automatically. And that is what you saw there. In 2024 elections, even if you say you want to have a peaceful election, when you are going to election, you don't sign peace pact, because this is what is going to happen. In this year election, you are going to have something we call displacement, voter displacement. Why voter displacement? Electoral Commission has gone into the communities to create new police stations or election centers. Number two, they have also gone into the same communities to reposition the existing police stations, which means that where you voted 20 years ago or last 4 years, it's likely you will get there and your name will not be there. Coupled with the fact that when they did the voter exhibition, a lot of people did not go to change their names. And even if you use the *711 *51# hash, they charges you some amount of money and people are not willing to pay for. Even those who had the courage to pay, it gives them police stations and some get there and they can't find their names. So this is where we are now. Another thing to be mindful of is that if you want a transparent election, which you guys call peaceful election, is that there are 5 layers or 6 layers of time layers of election. If the displacement happens within the first 2 layers, which is between 0 to 9 and 9 to 11, the tendency that people will be willing to go and form another queue will not be a problem. But should the displacement happen between the last but one, which is between 3 to 5 p.m., 3 things are going to happen. There will be nervousness, there will be anger, there will be agitation, because some people may think somebody is trying to disenfranchise them. And that is where you are going to have many of the issues that confronts security and challenges public peace and public safety at the police station. That has nothing to do with peace. It has everything to do with the election procedure that is not being explained properly to the people. To a remedy or for a solution, once the Electoral Commission has the mandate to collect data and to conduct elections and declare results, will it be wrong that the Electoral Commission of Ghana will send messages or text messages? You have sold every telecom in this country, so you do not have one to yourself, and that is why you are struggling. Could they not buy bulk messaging from any of these companies and send bulk messages to people telling them that your name has been deleted from the voters register because you didn't check your name, or this is where you are going to vote. And once it comes from Electoral Commission, it is authentic and people can verify it. Then you can be sure that people will not show up in the first place to be said that you can't vote here and they'll be angry, or people will not show up at the wrong places where they might have thought that is where they have been voting since 1992. So this is where you are when it comes to your elections and what is likely to unfold in 2024, and that has nothing to do with peace. It has everything to do